got a killer outside.
What do we got?
We might actually have two guys.
What?
Who else?
Ricardo Lamas, who's another.
I love that. Babalu, right?
Turn the TV's off. We might have two guys.
Are they here? That's him right there, right?
Yeah.
Come on in, man.
Dominick and Ricardo.
Yeah, let's get him in.
I think Roland's making them sign things first.
Why Ricardo? Why is Ricardo here?
I'm guessing he's one of his training partners, and I'm thinking he's fighting on the card.
Ooh.
Come on in, man.
Gary,
Dominick Cruz.
Sound from there. Come on in. Take a seat, gentlemen. Right over here. Sure, pull up a seat.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, you don't have to worry about Sam Roberts. He's not going anywhere.
Jim.
And I mean that in life.
How you doing, man?
How are you, brother? Opie.
I wasn't going anywhere.
What's up, Rick?
See, I meant in life.
Oh.
How are you, man?
You could go somewhere, like from one chair to the couch.
That real life paper toss you guys do it here all day?
Oh, you know?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, one of those is a tissue. Best not touch it.
Yeah, it's all fucking filthy bodily fluids.
What's going on over there?
Right.
We're actually on the air.
Welcome to the show.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've begun.
We do that all the
You
time.
guys did.
No, I know, but people come in sometimes and they just start talking about, like, yeah, I just took a shit in the hotel. And they're like, oh, we're on?
We were just
We'd actually like that conversation.
we were just looking at a video of a girl in a bikini taking a shit in public.
You guys put a video up like that?
Well, it's already out there.
Somebody
we were
put
just
it
taking
up
a
there.
look.
Yeah, she walked
Daniel
into a...
toshed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in, it was like a fucking hidden
carport.
camera, a carport, and she was like at the beach and she just ran and took a quick dump.
She thought she could get away with it.
Great.
Right.
It's good because she's kind of hot.
She's hot, and then she walks away, and then her load is just sitting there in front of this guy's car.
There's nothing you
She
can
could have
do.
at least buried it in the sand or something.
I know, right?
No,
Like
it's a garage. She
cat
just sat
box
there.
it.
It's great.
Then
Scrape.
there's no wiping either.
Well,
I didn't see her wiping. I think
if
you're
you
right.
squat properly, you could get away with it for a
No,
little
I
bit.
don't
Until you
know.
find a place to wipe properly.
I don't think so.
That's what I said.
Yeah. She's got she's
Saltwater's
going to the
very
beach, so.
sanitary.
I shit at the ocean.
Yeah.
Maybe
you
she
shit
did
at
a
the ocean, right?
sufficient
No.
I don't know why
You don't
would
shit
drop
at the
it in
ocean.
Well, maybe she couldn't, or maybe she's on the way back to the car and she had to just drop a deuce. But I think you just got to go into the water after that and just kind of open your
yeah.
ass.
I thought I
and
found
clean
out
out.
a shitting partner.
Marinade.
You don't shit at the ocean?
No, that's terrible.
I shit at the ocean.
I mean,
People are swimming.
No, you gotta
Fish shit in the
you gotta
ocean.
figure out the tides and
That's true.
stuff, and the seagulls will take care of most of the damage.
Fish ain't eating McDonald's, though. Fucking drinking Guinness.
The beach birds don't mind a good
Oh, really?
a good meal.
They start going
Oh
around
my
like they're
God,
following
do
a
they?
crab boat.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
How did we get
they don't-
here?
they
I
don't-
was going to say, sorry, you probably open every interview you guys are doing. What?
Yeah, same way. It's,
The most common start of an interview.
We want
Yes.
it to be
Girls shitting.
We want it to be unforgettable for the guys.
Yeah, we were only expecting Dominick and Ricardo. You're with them too. You guys training together, or are you just on the same card?
we haven't trained together yet. I'm sure sooner or later down
Yeah,
the road,
yeah. I'd
probably
love to
end up
train with
meeting.
Dominick sometime. You know.
Yeah, but no, we just met up here basically. Like, hey, you're here. Hey, you're here. All right.
Okay. What are you on in February too? February
Yeah,
1st?
I'll be the co-main event against Jose Aldo for the 145-pound belt.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't believe. Aldo, I mean, we'd love to have interviewed him, but I don't think he speaks English. I think
No,
it's
I don't think so either.
only
Barrow doesn't
only
Portuguese. Fighting doesn't either.
No, you guys are both fighting fucking murderers. I mean, really, really scary guys.
True, yes.
Really, I mean, they're both
Yeah.
really frightening. They're both Brazilian guys, right?
Yeah, they both from the same team too, so they train together.
And you know, the leg kicks. I've taken a lot of moves. The leg kick is the worst thing to me in MMA because it really just paralyzes you, and that's all Aldo does.
Yeah, I gotta. You know, it's definitely something that I'm going to work on in my camp, and I'll come up with a good game plan to counteract that.
Yeah, because everybody's looking for the big punch, the big knockout punch stuff. But you've got to realize that is going to fuck you up for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Those consistent leg blasts like that.
Do you ever get hit so hard? This happened to me because Jones hit me in the leg, and I almost shit my pants.
Misses?
No. He hit me in the leg, and I was so not ready. My body almost felt like I went into shock, and I had to shit. Like that was how. That's the sign of a real man. Fight or flight. I have to shit.
See, back to shitting. See?
Oh, man, what happened?
But it does happen, right?
You were nauseous, right?
Dude, I thought I was going to faint and vomit.
Wow, that bad.
Where's the worst place to get hit? We ask a lot of you guys this.
Besides the balls or the eyes, obviously.
Liver.
Yeah, liver
The
shots.
liver shots are the worst.
shots.
Oh,
Your body
God
just shuts
damn.
down.
Yeah.
That sounds
What does
dangerous.
what does that feel like?
Like,
Any way to
just
describe
push
it?
an off button on your body.
Just an off button.
Just an off button. You're done. Like, that's it. You can't breathe. Okay, like when you're an idiot doing something stupid when you're a kid, and you jump off and you land on your back, knock the air out of you.
Right.
That's what it feels.
Oh, wow. That,
You're going,
yeah.
sound,
Nothing's going
That's
in
what
you.
happens, except you're hunched forward instead
Oh,
of
shit.
And that ends most fights, right?
Oh yeah.
It's just usually
really-
just depend. It always depends on how bad it is.
Right.
Well, will the other fighter back off if he knows you've lost your wind, just to give you a second chance?
Yeah.
Okay, you okay now?
Yeah. Take a minute, relax.
No, that's boxing. They get an 8 count.
Yeah.
And then they stand you back up and you get hit again.
How much of the liver is exposed as far as when you're fighting? Is it
What do you mean by that?
I don't know. Is it the whole thing is exposed?
That
I gotta look
side is
at
terrible.
anatomy again.
Yeah, it's all there.
Most of it.
Here,
It's all there. It's
around
big,
in the
Right
love
above the
handle,
belt line on
just behind the love handle.
big
So it's
nasty
right here.
organ.
It's
So you got to hit
just
the spot, man.
It hurts.
And you've been out for 2 years. You haven't
Yeah.
fought in 2 years.
Yeah. It'll be about 4 months longer than GSP was out.
What was the
by
injury
time we
again?
fight.
What was the injury?
ACL.
Oof.
Yeah, it's been fun.
And you had 2 operations.
Yeah.
And Dana came out recently, and Dana
He
White
did.
Yes, it was really shocking. Yes. Him and Don King are life partners. It's really bizarre coupling. But no, Dana came out recently and said that he thought you could have fought sooner. And it didn't seem like he was shitting on you, though. It almost seemed like what he was saying is that you were doing a smart thing, like because you're fighting such a tough fighter.
That's how I took it. I didn't, media can twist things so
No.
well, and I can't see Dana going out there saying, yeah, like if he thought I was bullshitting, he would have thrown me in earlier.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's true, right?
yeah, all he has to do is drop the hammer and say, fight. You're fighting whether you like it or not.
Uh-huh.
So obviously he's on my side, right? I mean,
That makes more sense.
it's common sense,
Yeah.
really. But media is going to say, yeah, he's been out longer. Like, oh, so I told Dana, sorry, Dana, I'm going to have to take another 6 months. You go ahead and sit on your hands and wait for me.
Yeah.
Don't think so. It's Dana going, take what you need here. Okay, we came up with a date together and do what you got to do. And he said, okay, we agreed. So when Dana's saying that, it has to do with him saying, he's ready for this fight.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
Yeah, because he says things sometimes that as a fighter, like you hear, you're probably like, oh, why is he saying that?
You got to think things through. A lot of fighters that hear something Dana says, and they take it immediately emotionally. You got to really set your emotions aside and hear what Dana's saying as a promoter and running a business, and then, figure out what he means.
Has he ever yelled at you?
He yells at everybody.
That's kind of the impressive part. Is that fighters
That's
are
what he does.
frightening guys, but
He's intense.
He's a very
He's
intense
never
dude.
yelled
Yeah.
at me like pointing and yelling, but he's an intense dude. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
he
we're all
really is.
intense though. So
He
it
works
out.
really hard. So
Yeah, it works out. He
Do you
works
yell back at him or no?
nonstop. He
The
never-
fighters yell back at him.
No, you just kind of sit there and get
Yeah, you
yelled at,
motherfucker. What do you-
You just sit there and go, okay.
Because he's
Yeah.
the boss.
He's always
out of a
doing it.
job
It's how
real
he
quick
is,
and
though.
start yelling back at Dana.
You say, look, you're big and stuff and tough, but I could kick your ass, Dana. You're like, okay, whatever you want.
Yeah, that worked well for Tito, right?
Yeah, that did work out.
Is that what happened with them? They guys never seem to like each other.
Never.
Like
Jesus.
they were doing really great, then all of a sudden one guy on Twitter is motherfucking the other guy, whatever it is. It's like, what happens to them?
Yeah, and they were supposed to have that little boxing match against each other, and then Tito never showed up for the weigh-in. Supposedly, is
Dana
what
was
happened.
always just pure boxing.
Yeah, pure boxing. Yeah, because Dana used to box.
If you really think about it, you're Tito Ortiz. You're on a good limelight. You're doing good things. You're off wins and stuff, and you get knocked out by the promoter of the show you fight in. It's a no-win situation.
That's a lot of-
You beat up
yeah, you
Dana
beat him,
White,
it's
you're in
like, oh,
trouble.
good, you just beat
And
him
if
up.
you lose to Dana, you're in a lot of trouble. So it's like, yeah, I don't
That's
think
true.
I'm gonna make weight.
Yeah, so if you beat Dana, he's like, well, fuck this guy. I don't want him fighting for me. And if he beats you, he's like, fuck that pussy. I beat him up. Why is he going to fight in the UFC?
Exactly.
That's kind of a no-win situation.
Yeah,
It's a no
yeah.
win.
So how do you guys feel, too? You're fighting in Newark February 1st, which is Super Bowl weekend. And it's just the embarrassment of it not being legal in this state. Like, and Weidman's from here. And it's like, New
Yeah,
York
it's
puts so
stupid,
much
man.
money into the UFC, and they just won't legalize MMA here.
I have no idea what the issue is. I mean, that's far beyond my knowledge. I don't get it.
It's frustrating.
I just don't get it. So it's like when people ask me, I don't know. It makes
For
no
years,
sense.
they used the
numbers-
excuse, oh, it's too brutal. Oh, there's no rules. It's crazy and bloody and
And now we got girls pooping in garages.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you want to see shocking? There it is.
That is the best part of the internet, though, is just catching people doing shit that
Oh,
they're not
yeah.
supposed to be
Literally,
doing.
huh?
Yeah,
Great.
right.
Yeah.
There's something hot about a girl just sneaking in, taking a shit, and running out. It's kind of cute.
yeah, that was
You are
all right.
disgusting people, man. Yeah.
I mean, I think the Starbucks is an epidemic.
Yeah.
And I think that's what hit.
Oh,
her.
that
She had
probably
one of those
is.
caramel macchiatos and was just like, oh my God, the romp cramps are coming.
Had to take a coffee dump.
Got it in, and left.
Do you know how bad you have to shit to commit a B&E? She basically committed a B&E to take a shit. Like, you really have to go.
And it wasn't
take a BM.
It wasn't a coffee shit. There was some nice consistency there.
I couldn't tell.
Oh, it was nice.
It wasn't as loose as a coffee shit.
It was hanging in there.
Hanging in there.
It wasn't collapsing.
It wasn't the sprinkler.
That's wonderful.
Didn't look like an oil leak heading toward the drain.
What are we doing?
Sorry, guys.
What the fuck is this?
We're usually not that bad. I don't know what's going on.
You guys literally just happened to show up as we were watching that video. Normally we just,
We didn't have any time in between the two.
Drag me into this.
You're really. Is this the guy you want to fight coming back after 2 years? Like, I mean, wouldn't you? What happened? You were the champion, and now he's the interim champion, which means that when they know the belt's going to be vacated, they give him the belt, or they had two guys fight for the belt, right?
Correct.
And who did he beat?
He beat for the belt. He beat Faber and Eddie Wineland. Those are the two people he defended against, or won and then defended. I beat Scott Jorgensen to win it. And then which he fought also, and then I fought Faber to defend it, and then I fought Demetrius Johnson to defend it.
Do you not like Uriah? Was there a thing between you guys where there was kind of a genuine dislike?
I just don't talk about him. He doesn't matter right now. I'd rather not even talk about him. Who cares?
But do you get it?
Henan Barao,
How do you feel about him? I mean, I know you have to have an aggression towards somebody when you fight him, but it's got to be harder to fight a guy you like.
I don't really
I don't like anybody.
I mean, like is a strong word, man. It's like, it's not that I dislike him, but it's, I like Ricardo, but if me and Ricardo were fighting, we'd fight. And we'd sit here the same way we are right now.
It's more of a mutual respect than like or dislike somebody.
Correct.
You know what I mean? It's hard to hate somebody that you don't even know. You know what I mean?
That's something that I think only fighters can even understand. Because, for a civilian, when you're fighting, it's because you don't like someone, you have a problem with them. So that's really the only comprehension we have of fighting. You guys, it's your sport, it's your life. You can have a friendly conversation and what amounts to beat the shit out of each other and then still be friendly.
Can't you develop a quick hate after a guy splits your face open? I would hate immediately. Now I don't like this guy.
Yeah, has there been somebody that after the fight you didn't like him a little more than you did going into it, or
just because of the fight itself and not because there was trash talking or any of that?
Right.
So strange to understand this.
Just one guy, I haven't liked in all my career. That's it. Everybody else, whether I, fought him and we went 5 rounds or 1 round, I've never had a problem with them. I've had guys leave scars on my face, and the weird thing about that is you see a scar on your face, and it's like, you think about that person.
Oh, you remember that person? Wow, that's fucked up.
Yeah,
that's like
I see it.
I
just see it as like a different story to tell people.
Yeah. God damn, right?
So it's like you kind of get a weird, it's like a weird closeness to the people.
Yeah, it's like a connection.
You can't really you can't really explain.
Does it bring you closer to it's like when two ex-presidents talk, like, Clinton will talk to Bush Sr. or guys or Carter and Bush Sr. Do you get some kind of a weird bond regardless of who the guy is?
Like I said, it does depend on the chemistry of the person too. Like if the person's a weirdo, the person's a weirdo. You're never gonna get along.
I think of it like when school bus drivers wave at each other.
It's similar to that.
You bring up presidents, I bring up two kooks that probably didn't go through a background check, waving at each other.
And we do that if someone's driving the same car as you.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, you got one like me.
Or like war vets or something. Like two guys that have shared something like that they can talk about. They share common ground with that aspect. So
what did you guys think about the last fight?
Oh boy,
from the GSP Hendricks.
I thought it was one of the most awesome fights ever for me. I loved every second of it.
Yeah.
I thought it went back and forth. It was close. When you look at the CompuStrike and the numbers, you see GSP, percentage-wise, just edged out Hendricks every round. You're going to beat the champ. You have to not just beat him. You got to beat him. And the fact that GSP came out above on numbers on everything, and they tied 50-50 on takedowns. So that's the difference. Most of the time, GSP just schools people. Hendricks is just that good that he was able to make it a fight, make it a split decision. But to me, I'm not upset with the decision that they made. If you look at the numbers, GSP landed more. They were even on takedowns, but the percentages were all favored GSP at the CompuStrike. Now, if you watch the fight, you see he had more damage done to him, and it looked like the toughest fight he's ever had. So I think people are pretty upset, but that's just Hendricks hits like a train. So regardless, you know, he might not have thrown as many punches as GSP, but he hit a little bit harder.
I think that should be taken into consideration. It's just so odd that it's such a mathematical reason to have him win instead of taking into consideration the fact that, you know, that's what the sport's about. It is really, you know, inflicting some damage. And boy, did he inflict some fucking damage.
Well, it wasn't that bad. I mean, what did he have? He had a little cut. They both had cuts, I think. Or no, just GSP had a cut.
Yeah, GSP, both his eyes were kind of swollen. He had, you know, abrasions all over his face and you know, a little cut under one of his eyes. And I saw a picture of Johnny Hendricks, and it looked like he only had kind of like a little black eye on one side.
Yeah, it looked bad when he was at the post-fight presser there. He was beat up pretty good.
If there's not a finish, though, it's hard to decide. You got to look at the numbers if there's no finish. Otherwise, what's the point of keeping track?
If there's like, say, but do the numbers, do they count for something? Like if I hit you twice and you hit me once, you're probably going to do more.
Jimmy.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Well, not to say he didn't even knock me down because knockdown
right.
count, but he's going to do more damage with his one punch than I did with my two.
That's true.
But if you looked at just the numbers, it would say, well, I got in two, I guess, significant strikes, and you only got in one. But we would all know just from the fact that I was kind of like fucking blinking rapidly and loopy that I got much more damage.
How about this, though? How about if a guy's in wrestling, if a guy shoots 6 takedowns and the other guy doesn't shoot any, well, that guy just shot 6 takedowns. You defended them all. Now you have all that energy from defending, and not being offensive, and now you finish your double. So now he tried 6 times, didn't get any. You tried once and finished it. Well, it's because you conserved all your energy to finish that one. Where the other guy's putting forward, putting forth the effort. How do you adjust that? You know, how do you adjust that one person's trying and outputting more energy than the other one while the other one waits and waits for that one big shot? You got to level that out somehow, and that's what the numbers are for.
Okay. How did you see it?
You know, I kind of agree with Dominick Cruz. I think that GSP won the competition. I think if you look at the damage, I think that Hendricks won the fight. You know what I mean? If you would have put those two guys next to each other, and if I didn't see the fight, and you're like, who do you think won this fight? I'd be like, oh my God, this guy got his ass kicked, you know? But, you know, when the numbers come into play, it switches everything around. But I think that damage caused should, you know, be a little heavier in the decision of the fight. Like if me and Dominick get into a fight and I slap him 10 times, and then he decks me like 5 times and breaks my nose and
connected,
well, I hit him more, but he messed me up. You know, he won that. I'm not going to go around saying I won that fight. But, you know, I just think, I think they're still trying to figure out how exactly to judge it. You know, the sport is so young that I think they still need to fix a few things with the judging.
The boxing criteria to the judging, and it just doesn't apply really in a lot of ways.
So I think in time it'll just fix itself, and it'll be better.
Yeah, Joe called in. What was it, Monday? We talked to Joe, and he said something about the system they're using is not. He said they should probably get away from that system because these are guys that don't even know the martial arts that well. They don't take the martial arts.
The problem is you're using boxing, period, for a fight where if you would score it like boxing, we'd be the most cheating boxers you've ever met in your life. How do you score it that way?
Right. Look, it's a boxer that's kicking and
you're stepping on his foot, sir. It's illegal.
That is true. Yeah.
Bernard Hopkins looked like an injury, you know.
Yeah.
So
is he a dirty fighter? Is Bernard a dirty fighter?
I wouldn't say dirty. He's just grimy, man. Like not dirty in the negative aspect, but dirty in I respect the way that he fights. He fights like he's not. And the way he fights is he hangs on you and then breaks and punches. It's a different style that you got to respect. He's just grimy. He's been in
There's so many of those finesses that should be judged that just can't be judged under boxing rules and judging. So
100%.
Yeah. I guess they'll figure it out.
Do you ever get stood up? Sometimes Joe raised the point too that, and I thought that the Asian, I forget his name, Mario
Yamasaki,
was a bit involved more than he should have been. Like, I know when two guys are taking a break, you got to stand them up. But if two guys are doing something in the middle of the ring and he just kept breaking it up and making them separate, I'm like, why is he doing that? Like, they were doing something.
You know, when it comes to refs breaking guys up, putting them together, you kind of, as a fighter, you got to take the adjustment and just say it is what it is. I mean, you can't, when you're in there, you can't say, oh, what's this all about? Then you're not focused. It's just like, oh, we're standing up. Let's go.
But if you're trying to put a move on somebody and it looks like, you know, they're not giving the crowd enough action, but you're trying to lock something in or set, and the ref comes over and breaks it up, it kind of you got to be pissed.
It does, yeah.
God,
I could imagine it would piss you off. I haven't ran into that issue too much, to be honest. You just got to stay busy. You can't look like you're resting.
Right. Okay.
They'll stand you up if you look like you're trying to get a breath of air.
Get a little break. Yeah.
For the most part, if you're advancing or if you're causing damage, the ref isn't going to stand you up. But if you're just sitting there and throwing these little shots or whatever, then it's kind of up to the discretion of the ref whether he's going to stand you up or not. And some refs stand up faster than others, and you just gotta. Whatever ref you get, you just got to take what you get.
It's weird when you get a sport that has that stupid fucking human factor in it where it depends on a ref or an ump or, an official on the field. It's not so slide rule and mathematical. It's like, all right, 2 + 2 isn't always 4. He might have missed the 2 part. He's calling it 2.
I would like for them to be. I would like for there to be like challenges and stuff. That would be a huge thing for me, I think, because you see refs make mistakes and ruin fights for not. Like, these aren't fights just for the fighters; they're for the fans. There's so much more than just the two people in their fighting that's affected by a bad decision. For instance, a good example would be Ross Pearson and Melvin Gillard just fought recently, and there was an illegal knee thrown. And it was like kind of confusing. Like, was it illegal? Was it not?
Right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Why was it illegal? What was illegal about it?
It was illegal because he was down, but he was on his way up, and it was hard to tell, like, if his hand was still touching or if Ross's knee was still touching while Melvin threw it, which they were. So it was an illegal strike, but it's hard to say, like, why can't the fighter be like, I'm good, let's just finish this. We're both here. Put some Vaseline on his cut.
You go with it?
You're good, I'm good. Yeah, let's finish this because we've put in a 10-week training camp. People are waiting for this fight. We're the co-main event. It's so. I just wish they could like look at film and be like, all right, yeah, let's. Yeah.
That would be
kind of like football does.
Unique, wouldn't it? What's Roland up to?
No, I could just hear noise. I was telling them to close the door all the way.
Oh, really?
I can hear someone leading through
wow.
from the outdoor. So sometimes they don't have to pull the door closed all the way.
People yapping.
Yeah, and you're you're 31-1, I think, and you're
No. You're thinking of Barrow's record.
Yeah. Oh shit!
Oh, I'm sorry, you're 16-1 or
I'm 20-1.
21. Okay, I'm just gonna start naming numbers now until I hit the right one. I knew I had the one part. And your one loss, Mr. Faber, was it a decision, a unanimous decision?
Yeah, it was a unanimous decision.
Do you feel do you actually feel he won that fight, or did you feel it was a bad decision, or is it one that you look back on and go, no, he definitely got it?
Me?
Like, yeah, like how do you like? What I'm talking about is
feel. Maybe I should ask you.
I honestly don't. I don't remember it. So what I'm saying is a decision. Do you ever feel like you've been robbed? And since you've only had one loss and it was decision, that's why I'm asking you. Like, because the refs ever kind of like the judges fuck you?
I've had more than one decision, unfortunately, and I haven't been robbed.
Okay.
If anything, anybody I've fought says they've been robbed by me. So.
Oh shit.
So I mean, that's just people are going to say that if it goes to a decision, any kind of decision, you almost guarantee the person who lost by decision is going to say he didn't beat.
Yeah.
That's almost a guarantee.
Right.
Especially like the fights that I have, I kind of like pick people apart. I make them look kind of bad in a lot of ways, but I don't necessarily, put their lights out every single time I fight, So they have something that they think they can argue about. Even if I school them for 5 rounds, they don't win 1 round. They get taken down every round. They get punched and picked apart. They think they won because they didn't get something.
How do you go about making someone look sloppy out there?
You just make them miss, make them look silly. You make them miss, you make them not look like they can't figure you out. They never get a rhythm. They never establish timing. They never establish range. They're always looking a little bit off, 1 step behind. That's
from you changing things up a lot.
Yeah, you just got to mix.
Don't fall into a pattern.
Correct. Yeah, you got to mix things up. Don't fall into a pattern. Exactly. Be unreadable. Be unadjustable, and always keeping them guessing. That way they're fighting your game instead of you adjusting to them, they adjust to you.
And people look and they go, oh, look at this guy. Doesn't know what the fuck's going on. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the guy, Barrow, I'm thinking of, is he lost his first fight. And then I think he's like 130 straight.
Wow.
Since then, it's a really weird.
That's a strange record.
Yeah, but you haven't lost in a while either. I mean, you've fucking. How long has it been for you? Has it been?
It's been
6 years.
Unfortunately, I've been out for 2 of them. So think about that. I keep it real with myself, But
that's gotta be frustrating.
It was
not
the
to
worst
fight
thing
for
ever,
2 years.
It was horrible, but I know what I'm capable of. I know what I would have done if I was in and not injured. I'm very confident in myself and the way that I work. That's what gives me confidence. It's not my ability; it's the way that I work.
How'd you get through the 2 years besides training, getting your body back? But
Just working, man.
but after the training, you're sitting there like, oh my God, it's going to be at least another year before I could even think about
you don't
fighting.
think it that way.
You don't, right?
No, you think day in, day out. Every single day is its own battle. So today is its own battle. Tomorrow's going to be its own battle, and I'm not looking forward.
pretty
or
impressive.
behind. I'm in the present.
Pretty impressive that you came back from it.
Yeah, 2 years is a
2
long
years
way
is a
off.
long time where you could maybe lose your desire or something, you know?
I guess.
Did you have any times where you thought you were going to come back and it got delayed or pushed back?
No.
Oh,
Well,
so you-
yeah, when I hurt my knee the second time, I was 6 months into surgery or into rehab when I blew it out. So I was like halfway through the rehab, and that's why it took so long.
Holy.
So I went through, did the rehab. My leg was already back to full. I was training.
Oh, that's got to
I
be
was
disheartening.
getting back to
Jesus.
normal. My leg, the size, all the atrophy I'd built back, all that hard work, and then they're like, "Yeah, you tore it again."
How'd you tear it again? What were you doing?
I was training. I was doing what I was allowed to do.
Oh, just your regular moves.
Yeah. Plus, I had my brace on, but it's a lot. It's hard to understand unless you know the difference of the tendons and the different types of surgery. There's no blood flow going through the tendon like it should have been because my body rejected the tissue.
Oh,
I don't need
okay.
this big boring thing. to
No,
go into,
but it's not so much just, oh, you worked it too hard.
correct.
There was some
It
kind
wasn't
of,
anything like that. I
Right.
was doing what I was allowed to do.
but it was just weakened
It
because
was
of.
weak because there's lack of blood flow because my body rejected the foreign tissue. that
A
was in my
cadaver
body.
tissue, right? It
Correct.
was?
Correct.
I've always wondered about that. If you have, I mean, I'm glad you're grateful that you can do it, but how is it? Does it feel weird to know that you have somebody else's body part in you? Like, do you think of that? Like, oof, Jesus.
Not if you're trying to fight.
yeah.
You don't care. You just want to get.
care. I don't care if they put a
You don't get
rooster
paid
neck
unless
in
you're
there.
fighting as a fighter, you
Right,
know?
right.
No,
It
no, I
works.
don't mean does it bother you, but like, do you ever think like, wow, man, there's something in me that's from another person? Like, do you ever wonder? It sounds stupid, but
Like your ass.
yeah, well, exactly. That's a great question. I always know whose finger it is because they're right behind me and I'm handing them money. But I've always wondered about people that have,
Hell yeah. You gotta think about that a little bit, right?
yeah. I guess with a heart, it's a little bit different than a tendon.
I mean, my body didn't like it.
Yeah, I guess so.
So now what happened? Your body rejected it. They took it out, or what do they do now?
It just once it breaks, it disintegrates in your body automatically. So that was it. And then it snapped, and then they went back in, and I did a different type of surgery the second time. I did the patella tendon, which they take a chunk of the tendon that runs across the front of your knee, and they put that where the ACL is. Therefore, it's my own tissue.
Oh, okay, that's your own.
Immediately creates blood
How they
flow.
figured that out?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just amazing.
It is amazing,
Yeah, it is
huh?
amazing. It really is.
What do they do to keep your kneecap in place?
They sew it.
They
And
sew
you
it.
sit on your butt for 8 weeks in a cast.
Jesus
and you gotta move
Christ.
until everything heals, and then you got to restart the process all over again.
Wow.
What do you
Part
do?
of therapy, do you have to like re-stretch the tendon that they cut?
It's just nothing fun.
It
man.
doesn't sound fun at all.
It's not fun to talk
Zero
about it 'cause it's
fun.
Like, you even talking about it, I'm bored. I'm like, Jesus.
No, it's
People have to hear
fascinating.
this. I'm like,
It's just, you know what?
It's fascinating, to
You
be
know what
honest with you.
makes it interesting? If you're some guy with his leg up watching the game and reading the paper, it's one thing. To understand what you have to do and what that has to go through after repairing it, that is amazing.
it's funny because, you hear a lot like, man, Dominick hasn't fought in forever. What does he deserve for? Man, the fact that I'm coming back fighting for a title after 2 ACL reconstructions, it's not like I've been sitting down doing nothing. How am I coming back and fighting in 2 years if I wasn't working?
Right. Yeah.
I wouldn't be ready unless I was doing nothing but exercising, working, and being in the gym. So
Fucking turkey leg in one hand, a Coke.
yeah,
I'm ready.
Eating
Ready to rock.
bonbons, you know?
Bring it on.
It doesn't work that way. I've
No.
been working as hard as I've always been working. I've never skipped a beat. The only difference is the dynamic has changed from therapy aspect, or from fighting and preparing as a fighter to therapy. Just as hard of work, just different.
And I would assume you could keep your strength up in other parts of your body by working out without putting anything on the leg. But how do you go about training your moving and you're throwing your punches and what you would do standing up in a ring?
You got to work it into I worked my stand-up, my footwork, my shadow boxing, all that fluidity work into the rehabilitation that was building the atrophy back out of my leg. So like I had a lot of atrophy that took place from them cutting my leg, and then it automatically shuts off all the muscles once they cut your knee open. So all the muscles shut off. You have to reestablish there's like electric things that go from your brain to, I don't know all the terms.
Nerves
man.
and synapses.
But the nerves, you got to wake them back up to get your muscles firing again. So if that's the first step, and then you got to there's just so much to it, man. It's not easy.
It does sound like a rough.
You have to mix your footwork in while you're building the muscle back, so your muscles learn how to move the way they did while you're building it.
It's a true science.
It really is.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
I'm amazed at
Really
that
is.
because when I hurt my leg and I was doing it was after the Jones thing and I was favoring it, and so I had to get a knee brace. It's humiliating to admit
that
this.
is humiliating.
But I get it. Here's how I heard it, for real. After I was favoring it, I was getting into bed in a hotel, and I twisted wrong, and I felt like my leg was broken. So the same injury you get fighting a man, I got getting into my bed, and I got a fucking knee brace, and I'm walking up the steps of the comedy, whatever the club was in Doylestown, and I'm fucking limping up the steps, and I'm like, this is never going to get better. I'm never going to be normal again.
Oh, you thought that was going to be permanent.
Yeah, and I don't have to do anything with my legs. To have to heal your leg and know that you're doing that just to get in and have somebody immediately try to re-injure it. The psychology behind that is fucking fascinating to me.
I guess, yeah. I don't really know what to think of it when you explain it like that.
In high school, I was voted most likely to give a shitty explanation.
I just feel like an idiot
Goal
now.
achieved.
No, it's a real, it's a mental strength that I don't...
Basically, Jimmy, you were on your own, and these guys got people that have figured out the science of the whole thing.
But this is
They threw a brace on you and said, good luck to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Good luck with the stairs.
rough. Bad
You know
injury.
what's crazy about
Yeah.
that is they do that with you as an athlete,
Really?
too.
Really?
That's real. That's real. That's something I've been trying to explain to a lot of people is that it's not you really I had no clue. I really wanted to believe that these doctors and everybody is yeah, this guy's a professional athlete. He's trying to come back as an athlete, and they care. It's not that they don't care, but you are just another car that's in the shop and they're fixing your wheel.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the
Shit.
15th surgery on their list, and you're at the end of the day, and they're going to put another ACL in you, and that's all they know, and they don't. And then when you're done, you're done. And then you go, and they don't care what physical therapist you see or don't see. If you could go and see nobody, and it wouldn't matter to them.
Right,
That's
they're
on
not
you.
going to call you and say, hey, what are you doing? Get over there.
100% are on your own, and that's the hardest thing is finding the right therapist for you that fits, that's challenging you like a professional athlete should be challenged, and you're not challenging you like you're sitting behind a desk, talking about.
Yeah. Well, obviously you can't go to the...
It's fun, though.
Yeah, you
really
can't
is.
just go to some schlep.
Iraq is telling us that they have to leave.
Okay.
I save other press, but let's promote this right because these fights are both absolutely amazing. It's Dominick Cruz is fighting. I guess it's the bantamweight championship against. And am I saying his right? Henenborough?
Yeah, Henenborough.
Barao, okay. Who is a great Brazilian fighter, and Ricardo Lamas is fighting Jose Aldo, who is just fucking awesome. It's
gonna be great.
But you're also an awesome fighter. But
Thank you.
You know what I mean? But
God, that guy's a beast.
no, but you know what I
get
mean?
your ass kicked.
He said the same thing. I hear this all the time. Dude.
I know,
Don't
me
even
too.
listen.
I'm always amazed by guys who will fight guys. Like if I had those guys in here, I don't speak their language, but I would be amazed that they're fighting you. Like I'm always amazed when I'm talking to somebody and they're fighting somebody that I
How
find.
about this?
frightening.
I'm an analyst on Fox, and I'm looking at the Ricardo Lamas Jose Aldo fight, and I'm taking Lamas. And that's not because Lamas is sitting here. That's because Lamas can wrestle, and I think that his wrestling is going to slow up. You can't kick the legs when you got somebody trying to take you down, and it slows down the heavy punches that you want to sit down on because you're worried about being taken down. And Lamas is hard to submit, and he's got good ground and pound from the top. It's a tough matchup for Jose Aldo. So as good as Aldo's looked, don't sleep on Lamas.
Dude, I would love to see you beat him. I would love to.
I think that's been, what happened a lot in the past is I've been one of those guys that flies under the radar. I don't talk. I'm not a Chael Sonnen. I don't talk a lot of shit, and because of that, it's forced me to fly under the radar. But I sneak up on a lot of guys. It's like once you notice me, it's too late.
And that's another reason, again, why, because I've been there. I know how that is. I've been a guy also, so I respect that, and I know how it is, and you'll see. It's going to be a good fight.
Very cool. When is that?
That's February 1st. It's in Jersey at the Prudential. I think is it the Prudential Center?
Yes.
Yes, in
That
Newark.
means we'll be there.
Yeah, I would love to go to that because
we go to those.
Stupid New York won't make it legal, so fuck New York. We'll just go right across the river and watch it there in a great new venue.
Yeah.
And, I've been there for fights, and it's amazing.
They do a great job.
Good luck to both of you guys. I would love both of you guys to win the belt.
Yeah, I think
Thank
they're
you very much.
panicking. They're panicking.
Yeah, they
out
gotta
there.
go.
Okay,
Panicky Pete's out there.
Jimmy
Thanks,
continues
guys.
with his advice show.
All right.
See you guys tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.
Did you guys sign?
Opie and Anthony have left the building. But Jim Norton is not going anywhere. If you have problems and a phone, it's your lucky day. The Jim Norton Show is next.
All right, well, that sucked. To hear the Opie and Anthony Show 5 days a week live on satellite radio, online on your phone or tablet, or even on demand, go to SiriusXM.com. Also, interact with the Opie and Anthony Show on Twitter, @Opie Radio, @Anthony Cumia, and @Jim Norton.